I know what you did, Malfoy. You hexed her, didn't you?
Harry's character is obsessed in this film with two things. One is Draco Malfoy, who is convinced has become a Death Eater. The other thing is a book.
Imagine what would have happened if Harry had never discarded the book.
Can't imagine why.
In this video, we'll uncover trivia about this movie, and I recommend sticking around until the end because I'll reveal secrets about the best part of the film. But first, let's go back to the beginning. Well, not that far back. I mean, this trio, Emma, Rupert, and Daniel, felt from day one that they'd create magic together.
I do remember that when it was the three of us, something felt different and right and easy. I do remember the click.
But after all the success and fame these young actors experienced thanks to the global phenomenon of the films, one of the three nearly quit before the 6th installment.
But you considering pulling out? I never really spoken to you about this.
Yeah, I think I was scared.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever felt like it got to a tipping point when you were like, this is kind of forever now.
Can you imagine a new Hermione starting from the 6th movie?
No.
Why not?
Luckily, everything stayed as it was. Well, not entirely, because a lot changes in this movie.
You know how in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Ron didn't abandon Harry just because Harry started dating Ron's sister?
Harry and Ginny get together.
Sorry, spoiler alert.
Bonnie was the youngest one, so it was just a bit like, oh, what? This is weird.
And, you know, there is this kind of pressure, you know, this is the loved sort of hero of the story.
So everyone on this set has known you for about 6 or 7 years and they watched you grow up, and they're now gonna just watch you kiss. Cool, yeah.
And as if kissing wasn't awkward enough for the two, the directing team made it even harder.
It was actually the first scene that I filmed on the whole film, yeah. And
So start with the hardest and then work down.
Yeah. No, it was weird. I kind of obviously I've never done anything kind of on film like that.
Like Daniel said, it was strange for him because I was the youngest, so we assume he had to draw on his experience.
It's weird, because I did something possibly slightly stupid, because I sort of assumed that because I was all right, she's going to be fine, so I didn't really think she'd be nervous. Apparently, she was very nervous, and rightly so.
And that's how the love between these two was confirmed, which had been shown very ambiguously before. After the kiss, Harry misunderstood something.
Did you and Ginny do it then?
What?
You know, like the book.
Oh, yeah.
Harry had to cherish these moments because dark times were approaching.
Unbreakable vow.
But since we're on the topic of love, I think it's only fair to talk about Ron's new girlfriend, Lavender.
It was so amazing because I honestly came away from it being, if I don't get the part, I don't care because I've had a screen test.
And that was exciting enough.
It was, because it was almost, you know, you've had 5 minutes of being, you know, as if you had got the part because you were fully in costume and you were on a real set.
For Jessie to land the role of Lavender, she had to stand out among hundreds of candidates, and she did so thanks to her chemistry and improvisation.
But also, we had to improvise, which was...
With Rupert?
Yeah, straight away. So we didn't even do any script bit before, and you just went straight into an improvisation.
And what did you have to do?
I just had to be, you know, I just had to be Lavender. And Ron was sitting on a sofa reading, and I had to just go bound up to him, and that was it. And so basically, within 2 minutes of getting there, I was told, right, just improvise. And so I had to come out of the room and go into the Hogwarts common room, and I was just like, what am I doing? I didn't know what I'm doing yet.
But the challenge wasn't just for the candidates for Lavender's role.
I said, Rupert, do you mind doing some improvisations with 7 different girls, all in about 3 hours? You know, and they all have to sit on a settee with you, and they all have to be your girlfriend, and they have to kind of, it might get quite physical, Rupe, and you know, some of them are very pretty.
For Rupert, what was it like becoming the heartthrob of the movie?
But
Did any of them try and kiss you?
no, they didn't. No.
They're not.
No, it was just. I think they were quite nervous, but no, it was quite. It sort of brought me, sort of reminded me of when I was sort of auditioning. It is quite a scary experience.
Jessie did so well that I think she reminded us all of someone in our lives. In this movie, the main villain, Voldemort, stays off screen, but that doesn't mean we didn't uncover shocking secrets about him.
You're the doctor, aren't you?
No, I'm a professor.
This kid in this scene has a real-life connection to Voldemort.
And for those that don't know, you're the nephew of Voldemort himself, Ray Fiennes. How did that role come about, and how amazing of an experience was that?
It started with my mum saying, do you want to do an audition for Harry Potter? And I said, I'm never going to get that. Like, why? And she was like, you get a day off school. And I was like, all right, let's go.
But the most revealing role about Voldemort's past went to Frank Delane.
We know that in his relentless pursuit of power and invincibility, the Dark Lord has sought out many kinds of strange and unnatural dark magic. Take Horcruxes, which are created when a portion of the soul is broken off and stored in an object in an attempt to achieve immortality.
This dark and disturbing revelation is presented through a young Tom Riddle.
I read something rather odd about a bit of rare magic. It's called, as I understand it, a Horcrux.
I beg your pardon?
Horcrux.
This discovery would change the lives of everyone in the wizarding world.
This is beyond anything I imagined.
However, before this discovery, Harry stumbled upon a very intriguing book.
And that was
his potions textbook, which he's got a very, very old copy, and it's got lots of scrawls in it of someone who used the book ages ago. And the book has a bit in it where it says, this book is property of the Half-Blood Prince.
You sleep with it, and yet you have no desire to find out who the Half-Blood Prince is.
Besides his obsession with the book, Harry had another concern that troubled him even more.
Stop it, Harry. I know where you're going with this.
It's happened. He's one of them.
One of what?
Harry is under the impression Draco Malfoy is now a Death Eater.
So the force of evil versus the force of good is mirrored in Harry and Malfoy being the chosen one.
He doesn't have half the heart of Harry, and admittedly, it's quite a different scenario he's found himself in.
In the end, Harry's suspicions turned out to be true, in a way. Draco deserved this.
I know what you did, Malfoy. You hacked her, didn't you?
Though his suspicions were correct, Draco was plotting something even more terrible.
In the 6th film, they make him do the worst thing ever, or to attempt the worst thing ever of killing Dumbledore, and obviously we see him crumble.
Draco, years ago, I knew a boy who made all the wrong choices. Please let me help you.
I don't want your help.
I sat down with him and I said, Tom, look, this is your opportunity to really shine.
I remember David Yates saying, if we can get just 1% of empathy or sympathy for him, then we'll have done our job.
No.
Do you think if Snape hadn't shown up, Draco would have had the courage?
Do you think he would have done it, Draco?
No. No, he was lowering his wand. In the end, it was Snape.
However, the moment Snape appears and says,
No.
We're definitely at the climax of the movie. Beyond the fact that he kills Dumbledore, I think what's most shocking is the coldness with which he does it.
Severus, please. Avada Kedavra.
It's believed this scene was filmed with intentional silence on set to capture the raw emotion. The crew dimmed the lights and used fog to create a solemn atmosphere. Raw and emotional scenes like this demand that the actor go to a dark place. And for Daniel, these were initially challenging.
Dan said to me once, you know, if we have a challenge with a scene, he says, you know, one of the reasons I find it difficult reaching for this is because, you know, my experience of the world is quite limited. But as he gets older and he starts to move into his own adulthood, he suddenly discovers, you know, how challenging the world can be, you know, as a young man. And that's kind of parallel with how Harry starts to grow and mature in terms of dealing with Voldemort and the dark forces. You know, and Dan carries a lot as an actor.
And from the start, he always had something to contribute as an actor, or at least he always tried. This professionalism has maintained him over the years.
I am quite a boring person. I enjoy being at home and watching TV. The thing is, I like parties and I like all that stuff as much as anyone else does, but when it comes to the work, it's work, and it's the work that I like.
Thanks to this dedication to his work gave us this profound and sentimental scene. Although the moment is very sad, the sequence manages to convey it very well. From this movie onward, the characters begin to experience the true terror Voldemort is causing in their lives.
You know, it's got a lot of stuff. It's got a lot of action. There's a lot of drama. It's seriously dramatic.
But despite being the darkest toned movie at the time, it's also the one with the most romance.
There's quite a lot of romantic sort of storylines in this one, so it's...
Shut up.
Well, that's all.
Oh, this can't be good.
Let me know in the comments what you thought of the movie and who your favorite character is. And subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.